Another mild day today, but another warm up on the way for the weekend when temperatures climb back up into the 80s.
Calling for transparency, Cary leaders seeking your feedback on the town's budget, what you can expect after questions remain about overspending.
A new face in Chapel Hill, an NBA champion coach is expected to be the next head coach of the Tar Heels. What you need to know about Hubert Davis's reported new successor. Deadline approaching. President Trump is threatening widespread bombing in Iran if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened today. How Iran is responding to this new threat from the White House. WRAL News at 8 starts in less than 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on your Tuesday morning. The duo is back. Glad to be with you here on Fox 50. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. Feeling like spring a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit. Let's get over to meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center because you need a little light jacket, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Temperatures low to mid 40s, almost a refreshing feel to the air as you step outside. And all across the triangle, temperatures ranging between 42 and 46 degrees. And the clouds keeping us locked in with that, at least for the time being. We'll see the clouds kind of filtering out the sun from time to time today. Temperatures do make it into the mid to upper 60s, but that northeast breeze is going to keep the humidity nice and low. So again, that refreshing feel is going to continue throughout the day today. Thanks for the rain on Easter Sunday. That really helped to lower pollen levels yesterday. So hopefully we see a little bit more of the same today. We do need the rain to get rid of the pollen and get rid of the drought. Here's the thing, however, an extended period of dry weather takes us through at least the next 5 days. I'll take you through the next 7 and 10 days to see if there's any shot of beneficial rain. All that coming your way in just a few.
What's happening now in the W Traffic Center? Boy, I-87 in Nightdale continues to be a troubled spot this morning. It really started with some overnight construction, and we're seeing the lingering delays right now stretching all the way back to the Smithfield Road exit. So this is what it looks like on our sensors this morning because this shutdown was around Hodge Road, but that's since been cleared like around 6:30 this morning. So if you're in a rush, you might want to get off on Smithfield Road, work your way over to Pool Road, and then back onto the Beltline. Or you might just want to use Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard as an alternate route and just avoid I-87 for the time being because this is going to repeat itself all over again tomorrow morning. So be mindful of that if you're planning your morning commute. Now, as we widen out the view, right now you're looking at a 7-minute delay. So things are getting better. About an hour ago, that was up to a double digit in terms of delays. So right now you're looking at an 11-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and all the other major routes into the Raleigh-Wake County area, relatively delay free. This northern loop of the Beltline, I-440 New Bern Avenue, traffic has picked up quite a bit. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. And really the heaviest congestion is between I-87, 440 interchange to Capitol Boulevard. And then after that, it's clear sailing. But again, it jumped up to 10 minutes. So be mindful of that if you're getting ready to head out. That southern loop of the Beltline, we're still picking up some congestion there as well. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
And picking up on what Ken just mentioned here about I-87, that could affect your commute tomorrow. We saw this large backup here this morning on I-87 South. The highway was closed between Smithfield and Hodge Roads until after 6 this morning because of construction work on the NC 540 project. That stretch will close again tonight at 11 p.m. It is expected to reopen at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thursday and Friday nights, the interstate will be closed for northbound travelers between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road. A missing Cary man has been found dead after a crash in Raleigh. Raleigh police tells us the man was 48-year-old Linwood Phillips. Phillips was a rideshare driver. He was reported missing last week. Officers say they got a report of an overturned car in the woods yesterday afternoon at I-40 and Wade Avenue. They believe the car was going 70 miles an hour when it went airborne and crashed. They also believe Phillips died on impact.
Well, today, Wake County Schools Superintendent Robert Taylor plans to propose a budget for the next school year. Let's bring in WRAL's Ali Catalbar working this story for us this morning. Ali, there's been a lot of talk about possible cuts in this budget.
Yeah, Ken, and we've seen protests, we've seen school board controversy, and a lot of concern, all focused on Superintendent Robert Taylor's budget proposal. And that's because it's $2.2 billion. That's how much the Wake County Public Schools budget is. And I want you to take a look at this graphic of the budget from last year. You can see most of it goes towards salaries and benefits. And last month, Taylor proposed $18 million in cuts to special education. He dropped that proposal after pushback from the school board and the community. The school board told Taylor to come up with other solutions, and we're still expecting to see funding cuts in that new proposal. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains why Wake County is struggling to make ends meet with its budget this year.
Costs have gotten really complicated in recent years because costs are rising, but enrollment isn't necessarily growing and bringing that new revenue in from the state or federal government.
So here's the thing, Taylor can ask the county for more money. His initial proposal actually asked the county for $25 million, and the county ultimately decides how much money the school district receives. We're going to be following this meeting on WRAL. It starts at 5:30. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Catalbar, WRAL News.
Well, while we're on the subject this morning, education leaders and policymakers from across the state plan to talk about the biggest issues facing North Carolina schools. The Public School Forum of North Carolina hosting its annual Eggs and Issues breakfast. Both Democratic and Republican state lawmakers will be speaking. The event is happening just days after the state Supreme Court threw out the 32-year-old education lawsuit known as Leandro. That long-standing case including a plan to increase school funding by billions of dollars and change numerous education policies.
Happening today, Cary town leaders are asking for your input on their town budget. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Town Hall there in Cary. And Kelsey, today's event comes as the town's financial reporting is also under review.
Yes, Laura, it sure does. So today, Cary town leaders are asking for your insight and feedback. They'll be giving out information regarding their next budget, and they're also going to be talking about what goes on here inside Town Hall. Now, this all comes after town leadership has been under fire over financials. Former town manager Sean Stiegel resigned after questions about spending a few months ago. Documents indicate Stiegel spent thousands of dollars in 2023 at a four-star hotel during a conference in Austin, Texas. Now, records also indicate that the town bought land near Cary Elementary School, totaling more than $1 million. Those documents also show the decision was against the recommendation of the assistant town manager, and every town council member did not know about this transaction. So today's open house is designed to be drop-in style. People can just come in and go as they please, and it will be from 3 to 7 at the Cary Senior Center. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. Appreciate that. Well, this morning, some state lawmakers plan to focus on health care. They're concerned about spending and possible fraud. First, a hearing on rural health care struggles. There will be a focus on efforts to train more nurses and get more doctors practicing in small towns rather than big cities. We'll have the updates throughout the day online at WRAL.com, including this afternoon, when the conversation is expected to shift to concerns about Medicaid spending and new autism therapies.
NASA's Artemis 2 crew is on the way back to Earth after making history. Yesterday, their Orion spacecraft surpassed a previous record for the farthest distance from Earth that humans ever traveled. That mark was previously set by Apollo 13 in 1970. Commander Reed Wiseman challenged this generation and the next to make sure this record is not long-lived. In the next 10 minutes, we'll tell you why experts at Duke say this historic trip will advance health and technology.
The Michigan Wolverines are NCAA men's basketball champions. The Wolverines took down the UConn Huskies in last night's title game, 69-63. It was a really good game, by the way. It's the program's first national championship since 1989.
In Chapel Hill now, a new men's basketball coach will soon be heading to UNC. UNC is working toward finalizing a deal with Michael Malone to become the next men's basketball coach. That's from at least 2 sources to WRAL. Malone was head coach of the NBA's Denver Nuggets for 10 seasons, winning a championship with them. He will replace Hubert Davis, who was fired after 5 seasons. In November, Malone spoke on the Carolina Insider podcast about what his program would look like.
Year one is all about changing the culture and creating a new identity. And one of the best ways to change culture is by changing people.
News of this hire comes as the transfer portal opens up today.
President Trump making threats to destroy Iran's infrastructure during a news conference Monday. That's if Iran does not make a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by tonight's 8 p.m. deadline. Now, Iran is threatening to cut fuel off for years if Trump follows through on his threat. The country's Revolutionary Guard warned it would deprive the U.S. and its allies of the region's oil and gas if the President Trump attacks power plants and bridges. Iran also renewed threats to the Gulf Arab states as well.
Meanwhile, gas prices still on the rise this morning. New numbers from AAA show the cost in Raleigh at $3.95. In Durham, you'll pay $3.96, but in Fayetteville, prices are nearly 10 cents lower at around $3.87. You can find the cheapest gas prices wherever you go with the WRAL fuel tracker. Just go to WRAL.com and search fuel. Time now 8:11. Rapper shot. The artist known as Offset is in the hospital after a shooting in Florida. What we know so far about possible suspects.
Also, deep space, the Artemis 2 mission pushing astronauts farther than they've ever gone in decades, while experts say this journey could be the key to reaching Mars.
And we start in the 40s this morning, but by this time tomorrow morning, patchy frost is a possibility. I'll show you specifically where we see that chance coming up in a few minutes. 8:14 this morning. Temperatures all across the board ranging between 45 and 50 degrees. And it's a nice, comfortable, refreshing feel to the air, despite the fact that we've got more clouds than we do sunshine out there this morning. As we go throughout the day, nice northeast breeze is going to keep the humidity low, and temperatures make it into the middle to maybe even upper 60s, especially if you see some holes in the clouds. But again, nice, comfortable Tuesday for you. As the clouds clear out of the area overnight, we see the chance for some patchy frost. That chance from the darker blue, so from the triangle northward, where you see temperatures between about 32 and 36 degrees. Not uncommon to see that this time of year. But in the meantime, green light on any outdoor plans, but we do desperately need the rain. I'll show you why we don't see any signs of that within the next 7 to even 10 days, coming up in a few.
All right, Chris, we're staying on top of the congestion that we've been monitoring all morning long here on I-87 here in Knightdale. We're on the Smithfield Road area. It's as a result of overnight construction, and this is the usual morning congestion that we see coupled with that. So right now, you can see it right there stretching all the way back to Smithfield Road exit. It's a situation where it's the Complete for 540 project that's in the works tonight and also Thursday and Friday. So Business 64 or Pool Road are your 2 alternate routes at this hour.
Ken, thank you. This morning, the rapper Offset is recovering in a Florida hospital after being shot. Someone shot at the rapper last night near a casino in Hollywood, Florida. The 34-year-old is reported to be doing okay. Police are still investigating but have detained 2 possible suspects. Offset, as you may remember, was a member of the rap group Migos alongside rappers Quavo and Takeoff. He is Cardi B's ex-husband. They have 3 children together, and Takeoff, was shot and killed in Houston in 2022. The group was very close.
In Johnston County, the Smithfield Town Council thinking about adding cameras in school zones. Smithfield Police wants the council to approve the installation of automated school zone speed enforcement cameras to improve roadway safety. Now, across 3 school zones, a little more than 400 drivers were recorded traveling at least 10 miles per hour above the posted speed limit in a single day. Tonight's meeting is at 7.
People across the state are sending condolences to the family of former Miss North Carolina, Carrie Everett. Everett died yesterday at 22 after her battle with gastric cancer. Everett was the fourth black woman to hold the title after winning it in 2024 and the first to attend an HBCU. Administrators at Everett's alma mater, NCCU, say her voice, talent, and presence touched the heart of the community. And last year, she was diagnosed with this highly aggressive form of cancer in her stomach. WRAL spoke to an oncologist who says this type of cancer is uncommon for someone so young.
It is quite rare to see patients this young getting stomach cancer. Unfortunately, a lot of the cancers related to the gut are becoming more frequent in our younger patients, but it is still very rare.
The Mayo Clinic reports that women are particularly impacted by stomach cancer. Students on NCCU's campus say they were proud of Everett's accomplishments and inspired by her strength.
Well, a man accused of killing his longtime housekeeper waived extradition and will be returned to the Triangle. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says it will work to get Matthew Vukmer transferred into custody. He's been in Virginia for the last month after being arrested for the murder of Paula Floyd. Well, Durham police had to deal with several fake bomb threats yesterday. The first at Research Triangle Charter Academy. Police cleared the campus around 11 o'clock yesterday morning after the threat was made. The building was evacuated and students were sent home for the day. The school is back open today.
And the Walmart on Glen School Road in Durham reopened last night after a bomb threat. Police cleared the store while they investigated. They did not find any evidence of a threat. The Fayetteville Fire Department has added another four-legged member of the team. This is Lucy. She's the department's newest crisis response dog. The department already has one named Griffith. And both will assist with the emotional well-being of firefighters and other first responders. She will officially join the team during a vesting ceremony tomorrow.
The Artemis II mission is essential to future space exploration. Experts at Duke say the mission is critical to advancing understanding of health and technology in space. We're all still marveling at the crew's historic lunar flyby, observing parts of the moon never before seen by human eyes. Experts say the trip will help us continue beyond low Earth orbit and eventually reach Mars. The crew is more than 252,000 miles away from Earth. This will test how being in deep space impacts the human body. A Duke researcher says Artemis crew member and NC State alumna Christina Cook will provide new insights about space travel.
It's really historic, though, that that a woman is now on this mission. Females perform differently from a cognition standpoint after exposure to space radiation than males.
Well, testing technology in deep space is also at the top of mind for researchers. The mission is helping advance health and equipment in deep space. We've had a live stream on our YouTube channel of the Artemis mission since it launched last week. We're going to leave it up until the return home, so please check it out.
Okay, happening now here in the WRAL Weather Center. The forecast, Chris, a little cooler than we have been dealing with in terms of the temperatures, but not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You know, by tomorrow morning, there's going to be that little extra chill in the air, but it is April and we still get these cold snaps.
Yes.
So it does feel pretty good actually out there. Temperatures between 43 and 46 all across the Triangle. Right now, Cary, Garner, and Knightdale at 45. So is Rollsville and Durham just came up to about 45 degrees. We've got this thick blanket of cloud cover overhead. Every now and then the sun tries to play a little peekaboo through it, and that's going to be the trend throughout the day today. Midday, if you're taking your lunch break, temperatures at 11 a.m. mid to upper 50s. By 1 p.m. we'll be in the low to mid 60s, and temperatures just barely make it above that heading farther into the afternoon. Yesterday we were in the mid 60s, and we'll be at about 64 to 69 across the area. Fayetteville, the upper limit there, and then Roxborough and South Hill in the low to mid 60s. Rocky Mount 66 and Raleigh at about 67 this afternoon. Reason for it is high pressure off toward the northeast. You see how the wind around it is clockwise? Well, right now it's in a spot to where it's bringing the wind out of the northeast off the Atlantic, keeping us cool in the morning, comfortable in the afternoon. But eventually, as this system builds across the eastern U.S., it basically acts like a wall, and it just keeps any widespread rain from moving in. Most of it is going to be from the plains through the upper Midwest and up into the Great Lakes as well. So really, as much as we need the rain, we're not going to see any in the next 7 days. And the long-term pattern taking us into even next week. shows that we're looking at drier than average. The last thing you want to see when 89% of the state is in a severe drought, but unfortunately that's our reality for the next week or so. Good news is if you have any outdoor plans or maybe some outdoor projects that you got to get done, some painting or anything like that, this is probably your week to do it. Temperatures will be in the 60s, will be dry, and then by the weekend, that's when we start to get a little toastier. Highs will be back in the low to mid 80s heading into next week. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now. We're seeing an ebb and flow of congestion on I-87 this morning that really started with some overnight construction that cleared about 6:30 this morning, but we've seen lingering delays ever since. Right now, you're looking at a 7-minute delay, so things are getting better. That delay was up to double digits about an hour and a half ago. Our friends at Wake Forest, you're looking at a 7-minute delay coming in on US 1 South. All the other routes into the Raleigh-Wake County area relatively delay-free. That northern loop of the Beltline congestion beginning to build. It's a live look at I-440 near the New Bern Avenue interchange, bumper-to-bumper traffic, but it's moving at a albeit slow, steady clip. Right now, you're looking at a 6-minute delay because the heaviest congestion is really between I-87, 440 interchange and Capitol Boulevard, and after that, it's really clear sailing to the Beltline this morning. That southern loop of the Beltline, we're also seeing a 7-minute delay, and a reminder that southern loop covers I-40, 440 interchange in Southeast Raleigh all the way over to US 1, so just a 7-minute delay at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. As always, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thanks. Time now, 8:23. Spring savings. If you're looking for a new lawnmower or to do some home improvements, 5 on Your Side explains the deals that you should keep an eye out for.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time now is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's get right over to meteorologist Chris Michaels. Chris, another comfortable day out there today.
Yeah, despite the clouds, it's going to feel good out there. The humidity's nice and low. We got rid of that after that Easter Sunday cold front. Temperatures today topping out in the mid to upper 60s. We've got the clouds and every now and then the sun trying to poke a hole through it. Brush fire threat, it's going to continue over the next few days just because of the low humidity and the ongoing drought. Meanwhile, chance for frost is out there on Wednesday morning. We're going to show you where over on Fox 50 before temperatures climb back into the 70s and 80s this coming weekend. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now. We're taking a look at that southern loop of the Beltline, the morning congestion that we see this time of the morning on I-40 Lake Wheeler Road right there, bumper-to-bumper traffic. Right now, you're looking at a 6-minute delay, that southern loop of the Beltline from the I-40, 440 interchange there in Southeast Raleigh all the way over to US 1 there in Cary. So keep that in mind if you're about to head out. This is part of your morning commute. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from the Garner-Johnson County area between Highway 36 and the Beltline. And if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, delay-free right now.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Police say a missing man in Cary has been found dead after a crash. 48-year-old Linwood Phillips' car was found in the woods near I-40 and Wade Avenue. He was reported missing last week. Investigators say he was going about 70 miles an hour and died on impact. Happening today, Cary town leaders are asking for your input on the town budget. This comes after town leadership has been under fire over financial concerns. And today's open house is from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Cary Senior Center. Coming up next on Fox 50 now, Wake County leaders are meeting today to talk school funding. And coming up on today, the stars of You, Me, and Tuscany.
Another mild day today, but another warm-up on the way for the weekend when temperatures climb back up into the 80s.
Addressing school issues, this morning state leaders and lawmakers are talking about the biggest hurdles facing public education. What we're hearing from teachers on what they want to see discussed.
A new face in Chapel Hill. An NBA champion coach is expected to be the next head coach of the Tar Heels. What you need to know about Hubert Davis's reported new successor. Deadline approaching. President Trump is threatening widespread bombing in Iran if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened today. How Iran is responding to this new threat from the White House.
We're keeping an eye on all those stories and a whole lot more here at 8:30 on Fox 50. We're so glad you're with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. Yes, we do have a lot of updates to get to from overnight. But first, let's get a check on the forecast with meteorologist Chris Michaels. Chris.
Yeah, guys, good morning. And we're starting out with that cloudy sky, but every now and then you see some holes in the clouds like in Zebulon here. And it feels great out there, regardless of whether or not you see sunshine or clouds. It's nice and refreshing. Temperatures are pretty much uniform across the board, 45 to 47 degrees. And that little bit of a mix of clouds and sun. Over the course of the next few hours, temperatures naturally rise, not by a ton. We'll be in the upper 50s by 11 o'clock in noon, and then by 1 p.m. temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Heading deeper into the afternoon, mid to upper 60s. And that high level cloud cover is going to continue with a system that's pouring down rain in parts of Florida. We could certainly use the rain. Instead, we have that lingering brush fire threat and the chance for patchy frost tomorrow morning. I'll show you specifically where coming up momentarily. Ken?
All right, what's happening now? We're going to take a spin around the Beltline. We're going to start on that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the camera moving back a little bit, giving you a wider view of the congestion that we're seeing there. And this is what we see this time of the morning, usually on that southern loop of the Beltline. But as congested as that looks, right now our sensors are only picking up a 3-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delay on I-40 westbound coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, which is really good news. Northern loop of the Beltline now, I-40, 440, near the New Bern Avenue entrance ramp. You can see congestion really beginning to build a little bit. And again, this is the usual congestion we see this time of the morning. And the bulk of the congestion really is around the I-87, 440 interchange to Capitol Boulevard. And then after that, it's clear sailing all the way over to the to I-40. But right now, you're looking at a 9-minute delay. So keep that in mind as you plan your morning commute. Well, things are getting a lot better on I-87. We had that huge delay this morning as a result of overnight construction that's since cleared. You're just looking at a 2-minute delay. Our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 6-minute delay coming in on US 1 South. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
And as Ken just mentioned, that construction on I-87 could actually impact your commute tomorrow as well. We saw this large backup this morning on I-87 South. The highway was closed between Smithfield and Hodge Roads until after 6 this morning because of that work on the NC 540 project. That stretch will close again tonight at 11 p.m. Now, it is expected to reopen at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thursday and Friday nights, the interstate will be closed for northbound travelers between Hodge Road and Smithfield Road.
That's some breaking news that we're following here in the WRAL Live Center, Laura. This is a post from President Donald Trump in his Truth Social account within the past 20 minutes. And I want to read the whole thing because he said in the very first line, quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight, one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran." Now, this is in reference to that 8 p.m. deadline that he imposed on the leaders of Iran in terms of reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and saying that he was going to bomb the power facilities there and the bridges. And one other thing, just for the sake of context, we've been kind of mentioning that experts have saying this could be a violation of international law. Why is that? This woman here, this is retired Lieutenant Colonel Rachel Van Landingham, and she did an interview with PBS. And just for context here, in terms of why this would be a violation of humanitarian law, for those power plants, let's say by chance civilians are getting their electricity there for refrigeration, for medicine, and they need it for these hospitals. Disrupting that is why that would be an interruption of humanitarian law and a violation of that and considered a war crime. We'll dig a little bit deeper into this, including hearing what world leaders are saying in response to the president's Truth Social post.
Chris, thank you. A missing man in Cary has been found dead after a crash in Raleigh. Raleigh police tell us that man was 48-year-old Linwood Phillips. He was a rideshare driver who was reported missing last week. Officers say they got a report of an overturned car in the woods yesterday. That happened yesterday afternoon at I-40 and Wade Avenue. They believe the car was going 70 miles an hour when it crashed. They believe Phillips died on impact.
Well, today, Wake County Schools Superintendent Robert Taylor will present his budget proposal for the next school year. That budget is likely to have cuts, and those could include cuts to staffing. Last month, Taylor proposed $18 million in cuts to special education, laying off 150 employees. He backed off that proposal after pushback from the school board and the community. Taylor initially planned to ask commissioners for $25 million more in funding.
He said he was going to come back and he was going to revise some things. So we don't know exactly what the revision is going to look like, but Taylor has already expected to need to cut some funding for the next school year.
And that was our education insider, Emily Walkenhorst, going through that for us. And now the school board will recommend a budget to county commissioners who will ultimately approve how much money the district gets. Today's school board meeting starts at 5:30 this evening.
And the school board, Ken, is also scheduled to discuss safety measures on campuses. This comes after a student brought a gun to Millbrook High School back in February. Officials will also go over other safety updates, including the district's new emergency response system. Happening right now, education leaders and policymakers from across the state are meeting to tackle the biggest issues facing public schools. Let's bring in WRAL's Ali Katlabar. She's there on NC State's campus. And Ali, we are expecting to hear from leaders really talk about school funding.
Yeah, we've seen leaders and teachers as well as lawmakers walk into this event. It comes just days after the state Supreme Court threw out a well-known education lawsuit that would have increased funding. And today, right now, the Public School Forum of North Carolina is hosting its annual Eggs and Issues Breakfast. They're going to talk about the top priorities for education in the upcoming session. And a big topic on people's minds right now is state funding for schools. It's been less than a week since the state Supreme Court threw out the education lawsuit known as Leandro. It would have increased school funding by $5 billion. The court said it didn't have the jurisdiction to settle disputes about education policy. Now, we just spoke with a retired teacher out of Beaufort County. She says the decision was a disappointment, but she's hoping to see some good come out of it today.
It's really a call to action for all of us out in the field and for the communities to really advocate, get in contact with our legislators because we have to do what's right by kids.
And it's now in the hands of lawmakers. And this morning, we have a crew inside WRAL. We plan to ask lawmakers and leaders about what's next for school funding. Of course, we're staying on top of this throughout the day on WRAL. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Katlabar, WRAL News.
Well, today, Cary town leaders are asking for your input on their town budget. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey working that story for us this morning, and she's outside Town Hall. And today's event comes as the town's financial reporting is under review.
Yes, Ken, it does. So today, Cary town leaders are asking for your insight and feedback. They'll be sharing information about their budget for the fiscal year 2027 and offering an inside look into what happens here inside Town Hall. Now, this comes after town leadership has been under fire over financials. Former town manager Sean Stiegel resigned after questions about overspending just a few months ago. Documents indicate Stiegel spent thousands of dollars in 2023 at a 4-star hotel during a conference in Austin, Texas. Records also indicate that the town bought land near Cary Elementary School, totaling more than $1 million. Those documents also show the decision was against the recommendation of the assistant town manager, and every town council member did not know about this transaction. So today's open house is designed to be a drop-in experience where people can just come and go as they please. That will be from 3 to 7 today at the Cary Senior Center. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Well, the Michigan Wolverines are the NCAA men's college basketball champions. The Wolverines took down the UConn Huskies in last night's title game, 69-63. It was a rather good game. It's the program's first national championship since 1989. In Chapel Hill, UNC finding its next head basketball coach. UNC is working toward finalizing a deal with Michael Malone to become the next men's basketball coach. That's according to at least 2 sources to WRAL. Malone was head coach of the NBA Denver Nuggets for 10 seasons, winning a championship with that team. He will replace Hubert Davis, who was fired after 5 seasons. Well, you can count on WRAL to stay on top of this story. You'll find analysis, including how UNC ultimately came to this decision, on the WRAL YouTube page. Coming up, campaign cash, the effort being made by one Republican group to help Michael Whatley win the U.S. Senate seat, coming up.
And April steals and deals. You could be tackling those spring projects for less. 5 on your side shares what's on sale and what to know before you buy. Chris?
And we were treated to a nice sunrise earlier this morning in South Hill. Thanks to Deborah for a great picture here. I'll show you when we could see and where we could see a frosty sunrise tomorrow morning. That's coming up in a few minutes. $8:44, happy Tuesday, and despite the fact that it's cool out there right now, so far this spring has been the warmest on record in the Triangle, data going back to 1887. Right now, Clinton's up to 52, Raleigh's at 46, Roxborough's made it up to about 50 degrees. The temperatures continue to climb despite the fact that we've got a mostly cloudy sky out there. Heading into the afternoon, feel nice and comfortable. Temperatures mid to upper 60s, humidity nice and low thanks to a breeze that's coming in out of the northeast. But eventually we're going to see things changing once again. As we head into the weekend, we'll trade the below average temperatures we've got right now for above average temperatures. So we'll show you what's causing that and why this area of high pressure is going to keep things dry as well. Coming up in less than 5 minutes. Ken?
All right, Chris, that southern loop of the Beltline, we're taking a look at it. I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, these are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. This is about the time a lot of people are getting out, getting to work, that final push. Right now, you're looking at a 3-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline, so really nothing that's going to make you late. For those of you coming in from the Garner-Johnson County area, no delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline, and the Beltline as well.
Ken, thank you. Whether it's a new lawnmower, pressure washer, or replacing windows, spring is a big opportunity to save on some of those costly home projects. 5 on your sides, Ashley Rowe shares what you need to be on the lookout for.
Consumer Reports says April is a great time to score deals on big-ticket items for your home, both inside and out.
Because it's the beginning of spring, you'll start to see discounts on outdoor equipment and stuff to get your patio ready for the warmer months. It's also spring cleaning season, so expect deals on vacuums and other cleaning products.
CR says to look for deep discounts on items to help you deep clean your home, like carpet cleaners. A carpet cleaner can be heavy and loud, so think about how you'll use it. To make the job easier, opt for a lighter model with 2 tanks for dirty and clean liquid, spinning brushes, and a long cord. If it's time to replace your windows, CR says choosing new Energy Star certified models can save you hundreds of dollars a year in heating and cooling costs.
It's warming up, so it's time to start thinking about your lawn and getting it ready for the summer. So retailers are going to have sales on things like leaf blowers, string trimmers, and lawnmowers.
Before choosing a mower, think about the size and terrain of your yard. For smaller, flatter lawns, a basic push mower may be all you need. But for larger or hilly yards over a half acre, CR testers recommend a self-propelled model. Pressure washers are also popular buys during the spring. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
Well, happening today, city leaders in Raleigh are having their first meeting of the month and going over several topics. One of the topics is $1 million extra increase in demolition efforts for one former DMV property, along with preparing for the American 250 celebration. The agenda lists the need for budget increases due to accommodating a larger crowd, such as safety measures, transportation, and site security. The meeting is happening at 1 o'clock this afternoon inside the municipal building.
The Artemis II crew is now on course to head back to Earth after their historic lunar flyby. The 4 astronauts flew by the far side of the moon, something no human has ever done before. They captured never-before-seen images of the dark side of the moon. They also broke the distance record of a human from Earth set by the Apollo 13 crew in 1970. Astronaut and NC State alumna Christina Cook also reflected on their historic journey after the flyby.
I'm not ready to go home. I can't believe that something this cramped of quarters can fly by and still be fun every single minute.
The crew is expected to return to Earth Friday. They're set to splash down off the coast of San Diego and California. We have a live stream on our YouTube channel of the Artemis mission since it launched last week. We're going to leave it up until they return back home.
People in Vance County spoke to county commissioners about a plan that could bring a data center to that community. A lot of residents speaking against the idea of bringing the data center to the backyards. County commissioners now delaying their decision on it. Natalie Holdings is the company proposing rezoning plans along 158 just west of Henderson. The official reason why has not been shared, but residents strongly believe it's for a data center. Nearly 24 people shared their thoughts regarding health and environmental concerns, along with the developer's attorney for the possible project.
Your comprehensive plan encourages economic development and expanding the tax base, and the proposed rezoning would accomplish those goals.
This is going to be hard for us. It's going to affect us. These are our homes, our children.
Well, the same company recently pulled plans on building a data center in Apex due to the town debating how zoning would be changed.
One influential Republican group says it plans to spend at least $71 million towards helping Michael Whatley's U.S. Senate campaign in North Carolina. It's part of a larger effort by the Senate Leadership Fund to keep the GOP majority in the U.S. Senate. The pledge comes less than a week after one Catawba College poll showed Democrat Roy Cooper having a 14-point lead over Whatley. Their race to replace U.S. Senator Tom Tillis was already expected to break records for political spending in North Carolina. Happening today, Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen will be in Western North Carolina highlighting hurricane relief efforts. Mullen will be in Asheville for events focusing on the DHS and FEMA response to Hurricane Helene and Florence. That's expected to get started at 11:30 this morning.
An emotional moment for the Artemis II crew.
And a new trailer for The Devil Wears Prada 2. Let's take a look at what's trending. Let's start here with the final trailer of The Devil Wears Prada 2. It's out now. Almost 20 years later, Miranda, Andy, Emily, and Nigel, played by Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, return to the fashionable streets of New York City. The film reunites the original cast with director David Frankel. Now, this is so exciting here. Simone Ashley, she is actually, there she is right there.
Yeah,
she's a Bridgerton star.
Yeah.
So many people, including myself, really excited to see her involved as, I think, the assistant here. So pretty cool. It comes out May 1st.
Looking forward to that. A lot of us are. Let's talk about that emotional moment for the Artemis II crew that has everyone talking this morning. 2 moon craters received new names. Now, the one we're focusing on is called Carol, after Commander Reed Weissman's late wife, who died in 2020 following a battle with cancer. All 4 crew members hugged after Commander Weissman talked about that and blew kisses to his daughters here on Earth.
What a beautiful moment. And the other was named Integrity after the Orion spacecraft. Wow. You just have to take that in. A beautiful moment for sure.
What a mission.
Yes. Well, turning to our forecast now. Looks a little bit hazy, a little bit cloudy behind us here in Raleigh. Meteorologist Chris Michaels with a look over Apex right now.
Yeah, every now and then the sun tries to play a little peekaboo and poke through those high-level clouds. It's doing so in Apex right now, and the temperature's responding little by little. Most of us in the mid to upper 40s. Goldsboro's at 49, Raleigh at 46, but that was as of the 8 o'clock observation. I would have to imagine that within the next few minutes, we'll get a latest one that puts us in the lower 50s. By 11 o'clock, mid to upper 50s. By 1 p.m., we're in the low to mid 60s, and we'll continue to see that thick deck of those upper level clouds that we've been seeing mixed in with some breaks of sunshine. That's enough to put us to about 67 to 69 degrees from the Triangle to the Sandhills. You head slightly farther to the north, and high temperatures are between 64 and 66 degrees. Now, as we head toward tonight, the sky clears out. We'll see a calm wind, and the air is very dry. So those 3 things combined lead to something that's called radiational cooling. It's just a fancy way of saying, hey, it's going to cool down very quickly tonight. So much so that you're looking at temperatures around 32 to 36 from Roxborough to Raleigh. So from Wake County north and even into parts of Lee and Chatham counties, I could see there being some areas of frost first thing tomorrow morning. But as you head into the Sandhills, there's a lower chance of that happening since you'll be in the upper 30s. On average, your last frost is in mid to late April toward the Virginia state line, and it happens in early to mid-April in the Triangle. So this is par for the course. It's just been a very warm spring, so these mornings, they feel like more of a shock than they really are. We're in the upper 50s and lower 60s for highs tomorrow, 30s to start out Thursday morning, but temperatures continue to climb the ladder as we see a shift in the wind direction heading into the weekend. So we'll go from 30s Thursday morning to then high temperatures back in the low to mid 80s as soon as Saturday afternoon. Laura?
Okay, Chris, thank you. Before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic up next.